Do another draft for sure. You guys want to open packs? Open packs later. Let's get another draft. All right. Quick draft. Okay. Oh, we have 5,000 gold. Use that. Take a look at what we got. So, Sarkhan's Unsealing. Fun, but hard to use. I found it quite solid, honestly. Aerial Engineer is very solid, but I don't really want to invest in 2 colors for blue-white right now. The Stag is very solid. I hear Druid of the Cowl marked as really strong, but this card has not done a lot for me yet. All the times I've drafted it, I've been a little disappointed with it. Feels like a worse Green Seeker to me. So between quick draft and competitive draft. Competitive draft, you play best of 3s. We will do some competitive draft today, but playing quick draft for just getting into it again this morning. That's tough. I'm gonna take Sarkhan's Unsealing. I think it's the more fun card there, although I think it's probably the worst. Not the worst, but one of the lesser ones. The Bailiff is really good here. The Rabid Bite is really good here. Bailiff has nice synergy with Unsealing, and it's just a very solid creature overall. Green-red. Not super excited about green-red. Good pickup, though. Grab a Rabid Bite. Shock's good there. Bristling Boar's okay. I think the Bite's above and beyond the best card there. Colossal Majesty has synergy with the deck we're building, although it's a little bit clunky. It seems to be a win more card a lot of the time as opposed to a card that gets you back on the board. Let's grab an Oracle. The Guide is a very solid 3 creature that could sometimes win you games with its secondary effect. I think that's fine. Motivator, Vines, Root Snare, Smelt. This is kind of garbage for us. We're not guaranteed to be in red yet, and I don't really want a Motivator. I don't really like the card. Tempted to grab an Abnormal Endurance. Let's grab the Motivator. That's kind of a close call for me. I don't want these cards, so grab the 2-headed Zombie. Still potentially do something in black. Fire Elemental has synergy with what we're doing, kind of. Take a Plummet. I really like Plummet. I like main deck Plummet too. Rift, Lava Axe, and Druid of the Horns. None of these are really playable. I'll grab a Druid of the Horns, but I'm probably not playing it. Root Snare versus Wall of Vines. I guess it's almost certainly not seeing play. Take a Naturalize. It's probably not seeing play. Take a Bog Stomper. Almost certainly not seeing. I mean, I guess I can leave them in for now just in case we think about black right now. All right, pack 1, not terribly exciting. Besides our Sarkhans. Demanding Dragon's a good one, especially if we're going red. Also to point out here, Green Seeker's extraordinarily strong. Thornhide Wolves are totally decent. Basilisk's totally decent. Lich's Caress is really strong. Luminous Bonds is amazing. My God, this is a loaded pack. Actually, this is a super deep pack because these are all premium cards. That's decent. That's considered decent. These are both premium cards. That's a premium card. These 3 are decent, and that's a premium card. All right, let's grab the Demanding Dragon. 5/4/5/5 flyer with a battle cry is just really good. I'd love that Green Seeker, but let's live the dream. Do we want twins here? Twins are starting to get a little greedy. What's our curve looking like? Our curve is looking like a bunch of fatties. Curve is the mana distribution, like how expensive are our spells. If you look at my early game, I right now have no 2-drops and 1 3-drop for terms of creatures. This is a slow curve. But I don't know that I want to pick up a boar. It's not like the 4s are so I mean, we don't really have 4s either. I think we grab the twins. Hey, Farlon. Let's grab the twins. It's going to be our probably the last pick of that scale. Courser's a decent solid 3 we could use. That's a decent solid 4 that triggers Sarkhans, which would be nice. But double red's a little tricky for us. I think I need to start worrying about my early game. So let's grab the Courser. There's a second Courser, second Havoc Devils. Same rationale. I'm grabbing the Courser. I guess on the 3rd pick, I'll take the Havoc Devils. Dragon, Oaken Form, Basilic. I think the Basilic is just a super solid creature. I don't really like 5 for a 3/3. I so rarely get to use his special ability. Hey, Felky. Don't want another Fire Elemental. It has synergy with our deck, but doesn't really. Tormenting Voice is a maybe. I don't know that it's playable either. I don't want another Fire Elemental here, I don't think. Although the idea of just slamming down Fire Elemental after Fire Elemental sounds kind of hilarious to me. I don't think either are getting played. I'll grab the Tormenting Voice. Rift, Motivator, Boar. Looks like Boar came back around. I'm going to grab that Boar. Minotaur, Lightning Mare. Oh, this was the pack. This was the pack with so much depth. All right, let's take a look. So we're pretty solidly in red-green at this point. So I'm going to drop the black cards that we were considering if we saw a bunch of powerful black cards we could draft. We've got a fair chunk of 5s right now, although unlikely the Fire Elemental makes play. 3s are getting a little bit better with 1 Basilic and 2 Coursers and the guide. That's 4 3s. 4s are pretty busy right now. Not super busy. Could afford a 4. I don't really want to pick up a Wolves. I think I'm leaning towards Basilic again. This is a 2-drop. We don't have any 2-drops yet, but it's a 2-drop that's a little bit difficult to get going. Well, remember this pack was the pack that we opened. We're like, holy shit, this is the craziest pack ever. Well, that's why. It's a very, very deep pack. There's even something to be said about an Oaken Form. The card is not as bad as I initially gave it credit for. It's still an enchant, but it often versus me will get in 5 or 8 damage. Sometimes this card just wins games versus me right now. I think I'm grabbing the Basilic, but I am torn here. All right, these cards don't help us. I'm certainly not taking a second Naturalize. I'll take a second Fire Elemental, but I'm not playing it. What's my in-game currency's status? Are you asking what's behind the curtain? Creatures I control gain trample versus another Motivator. I mean, this deck is maybe a Motivator deck. We've got a lot of big drops. Let's throw a second Motivator. I'm probably not playing him. I'll put a Lava X in. We're definitely not playing it. I'm going to rare draft an Alpine Moon. Walking Corpse. And Invoke the Divine. Okay, let's see what pack 3 has in store for us. What would we like in pack 3? We'd like to round out what's going on. It's funny. This is a Manolith that helps some rare decks and gives me 1 card if I have the dragon. Do I want a Manolith in this deck? It's kind of a slow, expensive deck. I don't know that I want to be spending turn 3 on Manolith, but maybe. The other ones that pop out, the Veteran's very strong, although we don't have enough goblins to particularly make him good in this deck. Another Thornhide Wolves is totally appropriate, but I think our 5s are pretty decent right now. I think I prefer the Wolves to the Fire Elemental, but not by a whole lot. So I'm going to draft it. I don't know if we're going to play it yet, but I've wanted one of these for a while. And the first time I read this card, I didn't realize it also had the Manolith ability, and I'm like, wow. Veteran's good by itself. You think 4 for a 4/2 that does 1 damage to a creature on summon is good? I'm not so sure. Sure Strike would be decent. It would be our first combat trick. I think I'm taking the draw on the Oracle. So we'll grab the Oracle first. I expect a Sure Strike or a Titanic Growth will wheel, if not both. Instigator for a 2-drop seems really nice, or a Greenwood Sentinel for a 2-drop. Both could be good here. Like the sound of mine, good. So I think you guys can see just the corner of my mic. Depending on where it is every time I move it, you can see it's right where it needs to be. And the problem before was actually, let me see if I can move the mic for you guys. See on the left here how it sticks out over the table edge? There wasn't enough room to the left of my setup before to do that, and there wasn't ways I could move that easily. Why is this bar just in the fucking middle of everything? All right, this is the problem when you change setups around. That things that are set up in a specific way get moved. So let me just fix that real quick, because this bar is just kind of hanging in the middle of fucking nowhere. So really that's this being the issue. All right. Fix that. Fix that. Okay. But anyways, yeah. So good. I'm glad. I'm glad the audio sounds better. It should be sounding better. It's set up better. Okay. Vampire Sovereign and Herald of Faith are just both. I consider Herald of Faith a bomb, and I think Vampire Sovereign is basically a bomb too. Like the ghost cards are both amazing, but wrong colors, of course. So we're looking at 2 drops and 3 drops. We kind of have a fair number of 3s now. I'm looking at 4 3s. 5 3s even that are playable. I don't think I need another 3. A 2 would be decent just to round the curve out a little bit. Do I care about a Pyromancer, an Instigator, or a Sentinel? I guess I prefer the Instigator a little bit better, a little bit more. It's just 2 bodies. Gutter Snipe's decent in some decks, but has no synergy with what we're doing. I think second Colossal Majesty is a little greedy here. I don't think it will see play, but I don't want a Highland Game. I don't want a 3rd Motivator. Don't really want a Gutter Snipe. We have no sorceries or instants in here. This is a pretty underwhelming little pack for us. Did I change anything other than the ISP and the hardware side of things? No new hardware purchases. Well, I mean, besides the green screen and the light and that kind of stuff like that. Do I have an anti-flying? No, but there's no anti-flying out of these 3 either. I might grab the second Majesty. Could grab the Highland Game too. I can't. I feel like running 2 of these is too greedy. I don't think we're going to play it, but there's a chance I do. Naturalize, Axe, and Devils. Devils are pretty solid. If I want another 4, I don't know that I do want another 4. I'll grab it. I'm not playing an Axe in this deck. We got lots of big creatures. Not going to have the time to cast Axe. Another Instigator is great for us. Fills out our 2s. I'd love to see that the Goblin guy who nukes people come back around, but he probably won't. Oaken Form versus Pyromancer. Let's throw an Oaken Form in here. 3rd Motivator. 2nd Naturalized. Neither of those are seeing play. We'll rare draft the Scepter. Not that that's ever going to be played in any deck ever. Grab the Wolves. Okay, both the Titanic Growth and the Sure Strike wield. Hurting on anti-air right now. I guess we have to kill it with the Unsealing, huh? And also a Talons. Talons actually has some synergy with their deck. We have 2 3-drop, 3 power 2-drop creatures. Boosting them to 4 triggers. Just triggers the Courser, I guess. I prefer this trick, surprisingly, to this trick, but surely 4/4 is going to be better 99.9% of the time over 3/0 and first strike.
Quitters never win.
Yeah, I thought my notifications were working, so I'm not sure what happened with the sub earlier. But welcome back, PSZ Gemco. Thank you for the resub. I'm probably grabbing the Titanic Growth here. I think it's got to be better than Sure Strike. It just has to be. These are useless for us. There's not even a rare to draft. I'll take the Highland Gain, but it's probably not seeing play. I'll take another Naturalize. It's definitely not seeing play. And I'll take a Crash Through. That's a possible see play, but probably not. Okay, so we've drafted a really uninteresting 0 removal red-green deck that relies on having Sarkhan's Unsealing and having a board presence to do anything. I predict 3 wins with it. Okay, so what are we looking at size-wise? 47. We get a lot of playables. We need to get cut. Fire Elementals stick out as not so exciting to me. It's a lot of 5s. We do have a little bit of scaling. Druid of Horns makes no sense in this deck anymore. Double Havoc Devils. I mean, we got big creatures. We got to be willing to make inefficient trades with them because we're going to win or lose based on just being able to throw stuff at them. Dragon's Horde is fine, I think. We get 1 draw out of this some games. A lot of games we get nothing, and it's just a Manolith, but it's a fancy Manolith. So there's that. There's our 1 piece of removal is the Rabid Bite, and our 1 Plummet and the Sarkhan's Unsealing. I don't think I'm playing Tormenting Voice. I'm definitely not playing the game. I'll take the Instigators to clog up the board early. don't think I want the motivators. I just don't think I can afford to draw them. It's not that the motivators don't have some synergy with a bunch of 4s and 5s, but I just don't think I can. I don't think I can afford to be like, oh, it's a motivator draw. Fuck. It's not like they block efficiently or anything else. Keeping the Rabbit Bite, Titanic Growth, Corsairs, Basilisk, Guide. Guide might win us some games on his own. Double Majesties is the question here. So how many creatures over 4 do we have? 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So about 1 in 4 cards are a creature over 4. Majesty does not stack, I don't think. But maybe. I mean, I don't know if each enchantment triggers or not. I don't know if Majesty strat. If you have 2 4-drop creatures and 1 Majesty, you don't draw twice. Or rather, you only draw twice, you don't draw 3 times. If you have 2 Majesties, I don't know. What's our spell count right now? We're on 16 creatures, 8 non-creatures. We could play it and see. What are we getting rid of, though? I want the main deck plummet. It's like half our removal. I don't want to cut 4s. 3 4s is a little lower than I'd actually like. Oaken Form is coming to mind right now. Or the Dragon's Horde. Could just play with it as is and see. Let's get a couple of games, see what feels dead. I'm suspecting the second Majesty, or the Dragon's Horde, or the Oaken Form. All right, let's fix the mana distribution. I think it needs to be 8, 9. And it needs to be 8, 9 because our 2 drops are red. A bunch of 3s are all green. And then our 4 drops are double red. So, all right, let's play this and see. Horde's my only acceleration. Yeah, but it's not really acceleration. I mean, it is in the sense that it gives you another tappable thing that you can create mana. So, maybe how to say this? Let's compare it to Elves, right? Elves is a 1/3 body on the board that gives you a mana for 2, right? That card both stalls the game board a little bit while also giving you access to your bigger creatures faster. This card is a dead turn every time I play it. So the quality of acceleration, I guess, is different. The 1 mana of any color as opposed to green is a lot less useful. You know, we might get 1 draw out of this in a game and be super excited. We'll see. All right, let's try this. What are we going to call this? This is Willful Stupidity, I think is the name of this deck. All right.